Hey everyone, I'm Kelly Rizzo, and this is my Women's Health Body Scan. What I love most about my body is the fact that it gets me where I need to go, that it has provided me with just aspect of health and fitness, and that it really does respond well. You know, if I'm not doing a lot of great things to my body, I'm gonna notice it, but then when I can really tap into what's good for my body, what's healthy for my body, I also notice that, I feel the difference, and it's very responsive. I would actually say the part of my body that I didn't used to be a huge fan of and now it's grown on me a bit would probably be my nose. I feel like it's something that so many people have a problem with. You know, it's always a kind of a trouble spot, and I did have it done when I was 19, and since then I've always kind of felt like it still didn't really fit my face or something, and really just the last couple years I've grown to just appreciate it, and instead of even attempting to do something like, oh, maybe I'll get it fixed again. No, I'm like, this is how it's supposed to be. I'm going to learn to love it and live with it and just be happy with it and appreciate the fact that it does what it needs to do. So on Special Forces, the entire point of the show is that they strip you down mentally, physically, emotionally, to your absolute core, because they need to know what you're capable of. Because this is a very realistic simulation of what they put the Navy SEALs, British Special Forces through. So they really do everything they can to not only strip you down, but like beat you down. And you are not used to sleeping in a bunkhouse with, 14 people who are strangers on day one, and who are snoring and wrestling about, and it was very, very exhausting because you're not getting sleep, you're not eating how you're normally used to eating, and just you're very depleted because of the rigorous schedule that they put you through as well. So when I finally got to my final challenge, which was carrying this Navy SEAL Zodiac boat almost 2 miles through a field in New Zealand, and I'm with actual Olympians and huge, huge men who are in incredible shape, and then me, it physically broke me, but because I was so exhausted and beaten down emotionally and mentally as well, it's just everything came out. So I did learn what my limits were, but they really do a good job of pushing you as hard as they possibly can until you get to that point where you're like, I just can't take it anymore. I would say every day I'm doing something, whether it's walking, swimming, or working out with my trainer. I've been really into a chin-up challenge lately. I am up to 10 now, which is a very big deal. The fact that I've made it to 10, it has been this kind of lifelong goal that I finally just accomplished last week, and I'm very, very proud of myself. But for Special Forces, I did have to up the ante just a little bit because you're training to be a Navy SEAL. So I couldn't just go with my regular training schedule, although I only had about 8 days notice before I left. Fortunately, because I'd been working out with my trainer for months before that, I was at least in that groove a bit. However, I started training extra hard by filling up a backpack with about 30 pounds of water bottles and running up my hill. So I trained for that. And I think it helped a bit because when I got there, even though these bags were so heavy and so cumbersome, I was able to kind of hang with the boys and carry these incredibly heavy bags. Some go-to exercises that really help me in targeted areas. I do love squats. I love squats because, my trainer's always like, we gotta get that booty tight, we gotta get it in shape, and squats have really done a number, I've noticed. And then also, as I just mentioned, I'm really into chin-ups because, I did just get this bicep tattoo, and I'm like, I can't let my arms get out of shape now because they have to look good because of this tattoo. So the chin-ups have been helping with that, and also push-ups. I'm up to 30 strict men's push-ups. So the push-ups and the chin-ups I feel are really getting the arms in shape, and that's always been a troubled part for me, have been my arms. They've kind of been a little disproportionately heavier than the rest of my body, so I have to work extra hard to make sure that my arms stay in really good shape. Anything weights related or even body resistance related, I love doing, whether it's like Pilates, yoga, any type of weight training, that I'm fine with. I hate endurance stuff. I hate running. I hate being on a treadmill. I hate it and I dread it, but I know I have to do it. So I have a very well-balanced diet. I just try to eat everything in moderation, you know, kind of whatever I'm feeling in the moment. I will say if I had to lean towards some sort of diet, it would be a little bit more the Mediterranean diet because I'm Sicilian, so it's kind of in my blood in terms of like healthy fish and olive oil and lots of veggies, but also in terms of the healthy aspect of it, it's probably not recommended to have a ton, but I can't not eat pasta. So what I've done is I have adjusted my pasta intake. So just on a typical day, for breakfast, maybe I'll have some sort of a smoothie, a protein smoothie after a workout. Don't really eat a ton of breakfast. Maybe I'll have some eggs and toast. And then for lunch, usually, you know, maybe yogurt and blueberries and, you know, some sort of grilled salmon or something. And then for dinner, I kind of just have whatever I want. Sometimes it's, you know, pizza and a burger, but usually I try to have a really high quality burger. You know, I'm not going to get fast food, although I used to love that growing up, but not anymore. And then I do have a weakness for dessert. So at night there has to be some sort of sweet treat at the end of the night. I can't just have my dinner and then go to bed, whether it's a little ice cream or some sort of, you know, chocolate chip cookies are my weakness. So some sort of like chocolate chip cookie. I try to do it in moderation, but it can get a little out of control. I have so many tattoos that I probably couldn't count or know offhand exactly how many. My first one I got was when I was 16 in 1995, and I have the Pearl Jam Stickman tattoo. It's like this big, and it's the Pearl Jam Stickman, which I'm still very proud of to this day. I have like an Italian flag back here that says Rizzo above it. I have a bunch of stars. I have a star here that's actually covering up something else. These are my nieces and my sister's birthdays. This is one of my more recent ones that I really love. This is a little martini glass that I got in honor of Bob because he loved martinis. So that's just a very single needle, it's all one line, the whole martini glass. This is like my Italian arm. I have a cross for obvious reasons. It says con tutto mio cuore, which means with all my heart. And then it says Scimina here, which is where my dad was born in Sicily. This says Rinascimento here, which means Renaissance or rebirth in Italian. This is my most recent one, which I love. This is a flight path. Anyone who knows me knows I'm obsessed with airplanes and everything air travel related and air industry related. And the plane here starts in Palermo, which is where my family's from, where my dad was born. And then it goes to ORD, which is the Chicago airport code, which is where I was born and grew up, and then ends at LAX, which is where I live now. So that's my favorite one and my most recent one. And then I have a little B here for Bob that I got before he passed away, actually. And he was like, why'd you do that? I'm like, well, I wanted to get a B to surprise you and, you know, nice little B for you. And he goes, well, that was too spontaneous. Why didn't you tell me about it? I would have given you my signature B. I would have drawn you a B. I was like, oh, damn it. Missed opportunity. In terms of mental health, I'm pretty fortunate in that I can at least make my own schedule. So when I'm working really, really hard, when things are a little crazy, whether it's with events or press or traveling, at least I know that it might be go, go, go for a few days, a week, something like that, but then there is going to be some downtime. So I can always look forward to that downtime knowing that I'm able to schedule a few days where I can just relax. I can just focus on me time, you know, watch the guilty pleasure shows I want to watch, just veg out around my house, go on a walk, just relax, spend time with friends, spend time with my family. That's what's important to me, knowing that at least I can have that balance. That's really something I've been trying to focus on, is that all things work together for good, and how can we take even the toughest times and turn it into something positive.